That is a Thangka painting of Prajnaparamita, and she is who you have to master, and she is giving out her 6 paramitas so you can perfect your wisdom. These are not just drawings like fantasy drawings of deities, but they represent and mean something, and they reveal themselves to specific people that make these drawings of these deities. And she is the one you have to know and understand during the Great Tribulation, because she is doing the rapture through her system. We are doing the rapture for this earth, and we are doing the tribulation. And you have to learn the highest knowledge, that is the Prajnaparamita, perfection of wisdom. So it's not just knowledge and it's not just wisdom, it's perfection of wisdom. So you have to put in a lot of work, and you have to understand Christ and Father. You have to read the scriptures. You have to embody all her qualities, everything that she's teaching. All the Buddhas teach about her and talk about her, and all the Buddhas practice the 6 paramitas. So all of these things you have to know, and without perfecting her qualities and perfecting wisdom, you cannot enter through the gate that is Christ. The Prajnaparamita is doing the rapture, and that's how you go to heaven, through perfection of wisdom, because we are living in a great deception. We are living in a great lie. So we have to overcome that through perfection of wisdom, which is represented by Prajnaparamita, or called Pragya in Nepalese. Pragya Paramita is also the highest view from the highest point, or a bird's eye view, a view from, let's say, if you're standing on top of a tower and you look down and you can see the entire city, that's your Prajnaparamita view. So that's the view that you want during the Great Tribulation. When you are learning, you do not want to miss out on any detail, because any detail you miss out, Satan will take that and trick you and fool you and lead you astray. So in Buddhism, they say if karma comes as a result of ignorance. So you get karma because you are ignorant, because you did not see the truth. And that's basically, if you do not see it with your perfection of wisdom, you get karma, you get sin, or you unknowingly sin because you did not learn the true wisdom. So if you have not gained the perfection of wisdom of Pragya Paramita, you will naturally cause yourself to gain negative karma, because ignorance equals negative karma. Truth means correction, so you correct that negative karma. So anything that results in negative karma comes from ignorance, comes from not understanding the truth, not understanding the true nature of things, not understanding it through the Pragya Paramita lens, and being deceived and lied, and being led astray. So if you do not want negative karma that you will have to deal with during the tribulation, or if you want to quickly overcome your negative karma, you have to embody the perfection of wisdom. You need to perfect your wisdom. You need to go to the top of the tower and view reality through that way. And how do you do that? You go out and listen to disclosures. You believe in everything we are giving testimony for. And do not miss out on any detail. Do not find anything strange, because we live in a very strange world. And this world is not a simple world that you are programmed and brainwashed into. It is a very complex and a difficult world. And you have to understand that you are being tricked 24/7. So unless you embody the perfection of wisdom, you will continuously gain so much negative karma that during the tribulation, you're going to have a very difficult time. So you have to purge out the karma, and how you purge out your karma is by knowing the wisdom of Prajnaparamita, and having that view, having that lens, having that bird's eye view, having that eye, and knowing all the truth, and also sharing that truth with the world and helping other people see as well. And without the perfection of wisdom, you cannot rapture and go to heaven, because that's the virgin that will allow you through the gate. And if she says no, you are not going through the gate. That is Christ. So just knowing Christ is not enough. You have to now embody the paramita, virgin qualities, the 6 paramitas you have to embody. And you have to do all the things that she is telling you to do if you want to go through the gate that is Christ. So just knowing Christ is not enough. You have to actually embody the power of paramita. And the power in this case is the perfection of wisdom. So you will go through the gate that is the Son of God, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, through your perfection of wisdom. And that's how we rapture and go to heaven, or that's how you rapture and go to heaven during your tribulation phase. And these things you have to understand. You have to understand the system and the architecture, and then you are able to navigate your journey correctly. Otherwise, you have no idea, because they've already taught you as right is left and left is right, north, south, east, west. That's even incorrect in the mainstream. So everything is wrong. The earth that you're living in is a globe. So everything is incorrect. So even that concept, when you believe that the earth is a globe spinning around the sun, that false, that lie, that deceit itself will cause you to gain negative karma, because you believe that the earth is a globe spinning around the sun. But God never said that. God has given a very different description of earth in Buddhism and in the Hebrew scriptures. So it's not that no one told us, it is written in the scriptures, but we believe the earth is a globe, and that causes a negative karma. So if you do not believe in transgenderism, that's going to cause you a negative karma, because you're going to believe all the celebrities are straight males and females, but they're not. They're all gender inverted. So when you believe that Bill Gates is a man, that will cause you karma, because you have to penetrate that deception and understand all elites are transgenders. They are clones, they are transgenders, they are world-round, and all of these layers you will have to be able to penetrate and overcome the negative karma through the lies and ignorance that you have been taught and fed and brainwashed into. So all of these layers and layers of deception you have to overcome. So you have to go into the disclosure community, even if it's controlled opposition. All testimonies are real, and they are there for a reason. They are there to give testimony of all the works of Satan that has lied to you. So you have to understand it from every angle, so that you can purge out all the ignorance, because ignorance causes negative karma, and that negative karma causes you to sin, and that sin causes you to go to hell. And with your negative karma and your sin, you cannot see Christ and Father, and you will not believe, you will not hear, and you will not see. So through perfection of wisdom, through Prajnaparamita, you will be allowed through the gate. That is Jesus Christ. So perfection of wisdom is key. If you want to purge out your karma, you need to gain a 360-degree truth of Prajnaparamita, or perfection of wisdom. So with the Prajnaparamita, there are 2 things we need to realize, which is the 6 paramitas that you have to practice. And through your 6 paramitas, you will realize emptiness, that is the wisdom. So there are 2 things in Buddhism, which is called the skillful means, which is the method to attain wisdom. So there are 2 things, skillful means, upaya, and wisdom. So this is the way, and this is what you want to acquire, is the wisdom. So with the paramita, you have 2 things. So you want to do the 6 paramitas to realize emptiness. So that's basically the goal. So through your skillful means, so the 2 system of skillful means and wisdom is basically the system of how you learn correctly in Buddhism. So when you have the skillful means in paramita, it's the 6 paramitas. So the generosity, moral conduct, patience, effort, meditation, and wisdom. So all of this to realize wisdom. So all of this to ultimately realize the wisdom. And what does that wisdom entail is you have to realize emptiness. So through skillful means of the 6 paramitas, you realize wisdom, the female, and you realize emptiness. So in the wisdom part, you realize emptiness. So you realize inner emptiness, outer emptiness, and also emptiness of emptiness. So the ultimate goal is to realize emptiness in everything. So even when you're practicing these things, you realize there is no generosity, there is no moral conduct, there's no patience, there's no effort, there's no meditation, there's no wisdom, there's no giving and not giving, there's no downfall or no downfall, there's no impatience or patience, there's no effort or no effort, there's no concentration or no concentration, there's no wisdom or there's no ignorance. So you realize all of this. So make everything has a base of emptiness when you learn this as well. So ultimately, when you're practicing generosity, you're practicing emptiness because you are giving without attachment. When you're practicing moral conduct, you're basically practicing emptiness because you're practicing without attachment to moral conduct. So what happens if something bad happens to me? What happens if I make a mistake? What happens if I cannot if I do something bad in the way? What happens if I get led astray for 2 days and I go out drinking and partying? What happens, So people get attached to the system itself, and then you have to realize that no, there is you have to have no attachment to becoming totally moral. You have to have no attachment. It's like you cannot be radicalized into that concept because that creates its own problem. That means you're not practicing emptiness, that you have attachment to your moral conduct. So if you go out drinking, or if you go party, or if you do something like you go watch a movie or something and you distract yourself for 2 days, you go for a big party or a big Christmas or something, don't worry, you can just come back and continue your practice. You don't have to hold on and attach yourself to the concept of the moral conduct, or you don't have to attach yourself that, oh yeah, I spent 2 days partying. You don't have to attach yourself to that. So release all attachment and just practice this no matter what. The environment, because it says like the environment cannot affect you, and you yourself shouldn't affect yourself, and have no attachment to any of this when you're practicing. So when you practice all of this, you understand emptiness as the base foundation when you're practicing. So when you have no patience, don't be hard on yourself. It's like there's patience and there's no patience. And you come back and you continue to practice because you're practicing for emptiness. You're not practicing for patience. You're not practicing for effort. You're not practicing for moral conduct or generosity. You're practicing for emptiness. When you meditate, you're practicing for emptiness. You're not practicing to become a great meditator. That's an attachment itself. So anything you do within your skillful means, you're practicing to ultimately harness emptiness, and that's the base, and that's your interface, and that's your background, and that's the space that you're coming from. Is like, I want to master emptiness through this. And then when you complete that, you go to wisdom, and then through your wisdom you realize emptiness. So the basis of wisdom, skillful means, and wisdom is a pair, male and female pair, that is the base system of practicing Buddhism. So when you get to the wisdom part, you realize emptiness, and then you realize everything is empty. You realize your inner emptiness, your outer emptiness. You realize the emptiness of this reality, and you also realize emptiness of emptiness. And that's how you correctly practice the Prajnaparamita. So even when you're going through your skillful means and doing your 6 paramitas, you have no attachment to this, and you're not practicing for generosity, you're practicing for emptiness. So when you're giving without attachment to what you're giving to, who you're giving to. So you have no attachment to any of those exchanges. So you're practicing emptiness. So that's the key thing we have to understand with this. And that's how you do the Prajnaparamita correctly, and that's how you perfect wisdom. To perfect wisdom, you understand, realize emptiness in everything. And this you will experience about our reality that we live in. And when you go through all the disclosure and everything, you will realize the true nature of emptiness. That is our reality. And that is our opportunity to directly experience emptiness, of this reality, like physically experience emptiness. So not just conceptual, but physically experience emptiness, which is this reality. That is a MK Ultra script. Everything is a script. Everything is fake. Everything is a lie. And we have been fooled and deceived. And everything is a big reality show. It's a circus. It's a theater show filled with actors. So you realize emptiness directly in that way within our reality experience. And then this is like the spiritual foundation. So everything the Buddha has said, everything the Buddha has he has turned the three wheels of dharma of the Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, and all of those, all the things that he has said there physically manifest. So when he taught the concept of emptiness, emptiness has physically manifested in this world when we realize the scripted reality that we live in, which is the mainstream world that we live in. When we realize it is all fake, everything is false, everything is a lie, that is the manifestation of emptiness. So you directly experience that and realize everything that we fell for, everything that we ran after, everything that we admired, believed, everything that we thought was great achievements, those are all scripts, and those are all basically, it's actually literally a movie, because the moon landing is a movie. So everything is literally a movie, it's a script. So like for example, 9/11 happened in real time, but it is still a script. It is not a real event. It is a script. It did not naturally happen. Someone wrote that down. So it is false. It is not true. So it's empty. So everything is empty. So everything that we are given, all the terrorist fear that we are given, it doesn't exist. It's empty. So you directly experience emptiness through that way, and you understand reality and total reality through that way. So you experience reality, you experience emptiness directly through knowing the deception of Satan, through knowing the deception of our world. This is from the Hebrew scriptures, Colossians 2. Beware lest anyone cheat you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, which is this world, according to the basic principles of this world, and not according to Christ. For in him dwells all the fullness of the Godhead bodily, and you are complete in him, who is the head of all principality and power. So let no one judge you in your food or in your drink, or regarding a festival or a new moon or Sabbaths, which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance is of Christ. Let no one cheat you of your reward, taking delight in false humility and worship of angels, intruding into those things which he has not seen. Over here it says, do not let them teach you with empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the ways of this world, according to the principles of this world, which is all the things, worldly things that we aspire towards, and not according to Christ. So we aspire towards these worldly things and not to Christ. So they're telling you, be careful of this world and the system of this world that is not of Christ. Be careful of those things. And everything is a shadow. Everything is empty. Everything is fake. Everything is a dream illusion like reality, which are shadows, which are just shadows. It's basically shadows. But the real body is of Christ. Substance, the real thing, the tangible real thing is Christ. So literally when Christ comes in his physical body, we have the Christ stage, which is the real thing. But right now we are living in the shadow because Christ is not here. So when Christ physically comes here, that will be the real body, and it's a literal thing. So the Christ age, where Christ literally comes to this earth after his second coming, that's a literal substance. So the Christ will physically, literally come here with his body, and that's when we have the real thing. Right now, everything is a shadow. So you have to understand.